Today we are going to be using partial products to multiply two-digit by two-digit numbers. So let's get started. Our first problem we're going to look at is going to be 22 times 36. So to start, I'm going to use my partitioning rectangle strategy. So I'm going to start with the rectangle. Now let's look. I have two-digit numbers, right? So my first number is 22, 2 digits. So I'm going to break my rectangle up into two going this way. If I have a 2 in my tens place, I have 2 tens or 20. If I have a 2 in my ones place, I have 2. So I'm going to break those up. If I added these two together, I would get 22. Now for my next number, I also have a 2-digit number. So I'm going to break my rectangle up this way into two parts. I have a 3 in my tens place, or 3 tens, which is going to be 30, and a 6 in my ones place, which is 6. So now I need to find my answers for each one of these boxes. So let's look at this. We're going to start for this first box. I need to do 20 times 30. So I'm going to look at my 2 and my 3. 2 times 3 I know is 6. And then I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to add 1, 2 zeros. So that 20 times 30 is going to go in this first box. 20 times 30 is 600. Next, I'm going to take 20 times 6 to find my answer for this box. 20 times 6, I'm going to do 2 times 6 is 12, and then I have a 0, so I'm going to add my 0. So my answer here is going to be 120. Now the next thing, I need to find this box. So I'm going to do 2 times 30. So 2 times 30. I'm going to take my 2 and my 3. 2 times 3 I know is 6, and I have 1 0, so I'm going to add my 0. So my answer here is going to be 60. Now to find my answer for my last box, I'm going to do 2 times 6. I know 2 times 6 is 12. Now, so I have my answer for each one of these boxes. Now what I need to do is add them all up to find my total. So I'm going to add them all up on the side here, keeping them all lined up, all the place values lined up when I add. And I'm starting from the right. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 2. Then I have 0 plus 2 plus 6 plus 1. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 6 plus 1 is 7. So my answer to 22 times 36 is 792. Let me erase my board and we'll do another one together. The next problem we're going to look at is going to be 53 times 28. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my rectangle. So I have 53 is a 2-digit number. So I'm going to break my rectangle up in half. So I have two parts. I have a 5 in my tens place, so that is going to be 50, and then I have a 3 in my ones place, so that is just going to be 3. Here, again, I have another 2-digit number, so I need to break my box apart this way into two parts. I have a 2 in my tens place, so that's going to give me 20, and an 8 in my ones place, so that's going to give me an 8. So now I need to find the answer for each one of these boxes. So to start, I'm going to do 50 times 20. So 50 times 20. So that's going to take my 5 and my 2. 5 times 2 is 10. And then I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to add 1, 2 zeros. That's going to be 1,000. So I'm going to put my answer in that box. 1,000. Next, I need to find this box. So 50 times 8 is going to give me the answer there. So let's do 50 times 8. So I'm going to do 8 times 5, which is 40. And then I have 1 0, so I'm going to add 1 0. So that's 400. For my next box, I'm going to do 3 times 20. Again, take my 3 and my 2. 3 times 2 I know is 6, and I have 1 0. So I'm going to add my 0. So my answer for this box is going to be a 60. For my last box, I'm going to do 3 times 8. 3 times 8 I know is 24. If I need, I can check my multiplication chart to help me with that answer. Now that I have all the answers for each box, I need to add them all up to find my final answer. So I'm going to line them all up. And add them all together. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. Then I have 0, 0, 6 plus 2, which is an 8. 0 plus 4 is 4, and I bring my 1 down. So my answer to 53 times 28 is going to be 1,484. All right, let's do another one together. Okay, this time we're not going to start with the partitioning rectangles. We're going to go right into partial products. So my problem I'm going to have is going to be 46 times 38. Okay, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to start just looking at my 3. My 3 is in my tens place. So I'm going to multiply 3 times my 4 in the tens place. So that's going to be 30 times 40, because they're both in the tens place, right? So now I'm going to take my 3 and my 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to add 1, 2 zeros. I'm going to stick with my 3 on the bottom again, but now I need to multiply it by my 6 here. The 6 is in my ones place, so the 3 in my tens place is 30 times a 6 in the ones place is 6. So if I do 3 times 6, I'm going to get 18, and then I have to add 1 0. Now I've did this 3 here, so now I'm going to work with my 8. This is just like when I was using partial products for doing a 2 times 1 digit multiplication. So now I'm going to do 8 times the 4 in my tens place, which is going to be 40. So 8 times 40. I'm going to take my 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus the 0, add my 0 on the end. Now I'm left with 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Now I'm going to add these all up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. Here I have 8 plus 2 plus 4, which is going to give me 14. So I put my 1 in. Put my 4 and carry my 1. Now I have 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus this 1. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and carry my other 1 down. So my answer is going to be 1,748. Right, let's do one more problem together. Right, the next problem we're going to do is going to be 65 times 32. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my tens place on the bottom here. So if that's a 3 is in my tens place, so that's going to be 30. Multiply it by my 10 on the top, which is a 6. So I have 6 tens, which is 60. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to add my 2 zeros on. Then I'm going to do my 30 again for the 3 in my tens place, and I'm going to multiply it by the 5 in the ones place. So that's 30 times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then I have 1 0, so I need to add on 1 0. So that covers my 3. I multiplied my 3 here and then my 3 there. Now I need to do my 2. So my 2 is in the ones place, so that is just 2. So 2 times the 6 is in the tens place, which is 60. So 2 times 6, I know is 12. And then I have my 1 0, so I'm going to add the 0 on. Now that leaves me with 2 times 5. They're both in the ones place, so just 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And again, after I get all these answers, I'm going to add them all up. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. Then I have 0, 5 plus 2 plus 1, which is 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I have 8 plus 1 plus 1. So 8 plus 1 is 9, plus another 1 is 10. So I'm going to put my 0 down, carry my 1. That leaves you with 1 plus 1 is 2. My final answer for 65 times 32 is going to be 2,080.